Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back, St. Louis and everyone around the world. I know the world is watching. I see you, Moscow, Russia. They're like our number one listeners right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome back to Audio Inc., your source for everything local. Local music, news, entertainment, restaurants, tattoo artists, all the good stuff. Maybe some, cam girls every now and then. We get a little spicy. It's fine.
Let me know when that show is.
It's fine. I'm Kara the Lesbian.
me
Today's
too.
guest is Chris Frank, also known as Hoss.
Yes.
He was here last week also. So nice. He came back twice.
Just been hanging around the building for the last 7 days. I got nowhere else to go.
it's big enough.
Yeah.
For sure.
For real. First time when I came here last week, I pulled up and just thought, this is clearly the wrong place. It looked very I expected to knock on the door and people in black suits to come out and ask me for some sort of authentication card.
We got a whole gate out there that opens for you. And there's nice leather couches in the fucking lobby and shit. Wild.
This is fancy.
So we are coming off the heels of Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone that listens, that celebrates Thanksgiving. I am coming off the heels of the worst hangover I've ever had in my entire life.
Was it a party hangover, or was it I have to deal with my family hangover?
No, so not really. So I actually had to work yesterday at Hot Shots. And
Hot Shots was open yesterday?
We're open every day of the year. Every single day of the year. But yeah, we opened at 5 o'clock. But the girls have to sign up for at least 2 holidays to work just so it's fair. So I always sign up for Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day because my side of the family doesn't celebrate. But Jules' side, we had hers super early because half of them were going to be in Thailand for Thanksgiving. So,
whoa.
Yeah, well, our uncle's wife is married to a woman from Thailand. They all went there for the holidays, which I don't blame them. If I could get the fuck out of town for the holidays, man. I would too.
Absolutely.
Jesus. So no, I signed up and I made a whole spread. Jules helped me a lot. We made turkey that I get from Popeyes every year.
I've never done the Popeyes turkey, but everyone loves it.
It is fucking worth it.
Yeah?
You do it. You buy it and it's huge, know? And it's already cooked. It's pre-seasoned. All you got to do is thaw it out and stick it in the oven for an hour and a half.
Oh, really? Nice.
Oh,
I need to do
it's
that.
so good. It is I hate this word, but it is the most...
Yeah, you're going to use the M word.
You can.
Moist?
Yeah. It's that... Yeah. It's that... It's so fucking good. I feel like if you squeezed it, as a whole turkey, it would just...
Yeah.
Waterfalls would come out of it.
Yeah. I
love the girls that used to come into Thom and Jeff show,
Yes. You didn't even have to squeeze them most of the time.
How was your Thanksgiving? You do anything fun?
It was low-key. I stuck around Mom. This was the first year without Dad.
Oh, that's right.
So I just wanted to stick close to her and make sure everything was cool.
Yeah.
With it being the two of us, it was honestly just another Thursday with slightly fancier food.
Yeah.
We made a small turkey.
So it was just you and her?
Yeah, just me and her.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And then she was asleep on the couch by 4. I watched football.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I was, oh my God, excuse me. Jesus.
Nice. That was a good one, though.
I'm drinking this sparkling water stuff, so it's carbonated, I guess. It's a little, whatever.
All right.
But yeah, I swear on Wednesday, I worked all day, and then I texted Jules, and I was like, well, a lot of the regulars are here, and they're going out for Thanksgiving, whatever. So
right on.
We stayed up at work, and I had a lot to drink.
Right on.
It was a lot. And then 3:30 in the morning rolled around, and I was like, oh shit, I have to work tomorrow, and I also have to get up and make an entire fucking Thanksgiving for work.
So I guess it's safe to say that you do celebrate Thanksgiving.
Usually I don't.
No?
Okay, so Wednesday I went to work in my entire uniform, the referee shirt, the little shorts, and all I had was sweatpants over it.
Right.
And so my boss sent me to Aldi earlier that morning. I bought a couple onesies from there. So when we decided to stay, I was like, well, fuck this. I'm not wearing my uniform all night. So I just sat and drank in my onesie all night long at Hot Shots.
As you should.
Just what the fuck, man. And then so I wake up on Thursday and I was like, oh my God. So I start throwing up around I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock. Hop in the shower, throw up in the shower, whatever. Get behind the bar, and it was like, as soon as I clocked in, I was in the bathroom every 3 minutes.
Oh.
I was trying to take sips of water. My eyes were bloodshot out of my head. My customers were all like, "Are you okay?"
No.
I was no. I mean, I look cute, but I am not okay.
That should have been the real title of the Britney Spears book, by the way.
Dude.
I look cute, but I am
not okay. It was so bad. So one of the girls finally took over for me that was working on the floor, and I left. I left that bitch at 8:30.
Good for you.
I went home. I went to bed. I was like, damn. I felt so bad too because I made this whole post on Facebook saying I was gonna bring food and let's party.
Nope.
Jules was with me yesterday too up at work, and I made her a shot, and she was like, just take a sip, you'll be fine, hair of the dog. So I did, and no Jesus Christ,
I haven't done Skanksgiving in a long time aside from last year. There's a band that I manage they're from St. Louis. And they were playing a show at Old Rock House. And all the girlfriends and wives of the band were like, "Oh my God, it's Skanksgiving. You need to come." And I was like, "Oh, fine." And they were all going to wear plaid schoolgirl skirts because, And I was like, "Well, I'll drink with you, but I'm not doing that." And she was like, "What about a kilt?" And I was like, "You find me a kilt."
I was going to say, you're kind of you wear...
Yeah, I don't care. I paint my toenails.
Dr. Frankenfurter for...
But that was for charity, and it was.
Yeah,
for
but
I mean, look,
you loved
it
though.
It doesn't bother me. I got on stage in full on lingerie.
You looked very sexy doing it.
I will say it was the first time that I feel like I could see how much weight I lost.
You looked great.
Yeah, I'm down to, depending on what it is now, a 1X or maybe a 2, but. Yeah, I tell you, nothing will motivate you to drop those last few pounds than hearing, okay, so we're going to need you to wear women's underwear and a corset and a garter belt on stage in front of 500 people and going, oh, well, I need to make sure this shit looks good.
Oh, my God.
But
sorry if I keep burping into the microphone.
You're fine.
Still coming off that hangover.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
I'm just full of whatever.
I had so many people ask me, "Are you sure you want to do this?" when it came to the Dr. Frankenfurter thing. And I was like, why
not?
Not? Number one, I don't care. I'm secure enough in who I am that it doesn't bother me.
It's a fun thing. It's just a fun thing.
I've had my toenail, you can't see because I have shoes on now, but I've had my toenails painted.
Yeah, they're neon green with little
spider webs on
black spider webs on the big toes. Now, are those your real toenails?
Yeah.
Or are they did you have her put to jail?
No, those are legit. Those are legit.
The crick go to jail?
Nope. I'm actually supposed to go and get them redone either tomorrow or next Saturday.
Is that a weekly thing that you do?
It is.
Or monthly? Or
every other month or so thing. It is myself. It started with my dear mother, who you know well.
Fun fact, his mother was my 6th grade teacher.
That's right. She, about 3 years ago, asked if I would take her to get a pedicure because the arthritis in her knees are bad. And at first I was like, I don't know, Mom. And I got the only child guilt trip of, well, it's okay. We don't have to go. And I was like, fuck.
You're an only child too? Oh.
So I was like, all right, get in the car. And by the time he got done, I was like, Mom, whenever you're ready, let's go. So I tried telling all of my guy friends, whenever your girls want to go next time, just go once.
And it's not like when you get a pedicure, you have to get your toes painted.
So here's the funny thing. About 6 months into going, my one friend's wife, who has gone with us pretty much every time, told me to get my toes painted. I was like, I'm not going to pay the extra for that. And she was like, oh, baby, it's not extra. And I go, it's not? And the lady working on us was like, yeah, it's included. I'm like, all right, fine. That'll be fun. So my friend's wife and I have had matching toenails for the last 2.5 years. Whenever we get, I'm like, just pick whatever you want. I'll match. Yours get seen more than I. That said, I will say during the summer when it's sandal and flip-flop weather, these toes get numbers from girls.
Hey, I believe it. I can't get a pedicure. My feet are, I can't. It's too ticklish for me.
So mine was too the first few times. You get used to it.
Oh,
girl, I'm telling you, fight through it.
I can't. And I need them. I need it really bad.
My
feet are fucking crusty.
Yeah. See, that's me. My heels get nasty. it's the best, like $45 I spend on myself every other month. Girl, I'm telling you. Anyway, so there's like a group of like 5 of us that go now. Me, my mom, my friend Christy. If I have a girlfriend, my girlfriend will go, and then usually 1 or 2 others. And we've dubbed it Girls' Day.
Wait, are you single right now? Oh, never mind.
I don't know what I am right now.
It's a situationship is what we call it.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I am dating a few girls.
Ooh.
None of them is like a serious thing.
Playa.
Yeah, see, here's how it works with me. I'm either no one wants me or everyone wants me.
Same.
There's never like, oh, this girl would like to go out with me. Let's go on a couple dates. It's like this entire hallway of women want me. Or no one for miles. And this is, I'm in the high tide right now.
Oh, man. Good for you.
But yeah, we call it Girls' Day. We'll go out, we get brunch, we get our feet did, we'll go do some shopping, and then whatever.
I love that.
And
what do they call that? That's like metrosexual or something,
I guess
right?
so, but
it's not a bad thing. We love hygiene. Women love hygiene. Well, not me. I can't say that for myself. Because I am a
girl. I'm with
dumpster fire
I'm in the
with
same
jeans
boat.
on. So
I'm in the same boat. But like I've had so many guys like, why don't you go and do that? And also like, you call it Girls' Day? And I'm like, why? Who cares? Who cares? I'm cool enough with who I am that like, yeah, go on Girls' Day and I got my toes painted. What of it?
Yeah, where's your line of cooch?
Yeah.
Not here.
Right, well, ask me in 6 months and it won't be there. You know?
No, I'm talking about the guys that give you shit.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, in 5 months, I'll be just like those guys going,
yeah, go home to your mattress with no fucking sheets.
Right.
And your pillowcase with your pillow with no pillowcase.
Just one dirty sock on the corner of the bed.
No headboard. Get out of here. Get out of town.
I remember when I didn't have a headboard. And then I finally became a big boy and bought a real bed. And I was like,
same.
I feel so accomplished.
It's so weird, like having like actual matching furniture and bedroom furniture. Like when Jules and I first moved in together, everything in that house was unmatching. And I was like, nope. Yeah. Get rid of all of it. We're getting rid of everything.
You feel grown up, right? Like
no curtains, no rugs, no. Yep. Oh, I was like, this is a fucking bachelor pad.
I bought a
house.
Get
me out of here.
I bought a house 2 years ago, and I had to buy furniture to fill it up because my old house was much smaller. So each room now has its own set of matching furniture, and I feel like very accomplished and grown up. But I also have the problem where things break around the house, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could be totally, I know I can't, I would be totally okay with going, oh, my fridge is leaking some kind of fluid on my floor. Well, I'll just clean that up and keep going.
Just stick a towel down.
And I know I can't, but it's this weird thing where, like, I love being a homeowner, but then things break and you're just like, oh, do I have to fix that? Sadly, yes, you do.
Post on Facebook. Does anyone that I know want to come do this for free?
Look, I have...
I'll take you to get a pedicure.
I would. Without naming names, I have a friend who is notorious for can someone bring me Arby's?
Oh.
Stop. Get your own.
Yeah, it's actually DoorDash could do that.
Yeah, they really could.
They could.
Yeah. I mean, we all know the
What a weird choice for you to say just now, Arby's.
Or whoever.
Very random.
But we all know that, like, the unsaid portion of that is, can someone buy me dinner and bring it to me?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yep. I'm bartending all night.
Oh, no. This is like...
Bring me coffee.
This is like, just bring it to my house.
I do that
Bring it to my house and then leave. I was like, listen, honey, your ass ain't good enough to make that request.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's nice. I've seen it.
Speaking of that, it's funny because, like, when I first started bartending, God, 12 years ago... I don't even want to say that out loud. Ew. I would do that kind of shit where you'd post on Facebook, I'm here all night. Come bring me coffee and keep me company. And now, like, thinking of doing that shit, just kind of makes me a little bit sick.
I have to think, as an attractive woman working in that field, that is just opening the door for every creeper in the world to bring you coffee and then just literally stick to you like glue for the rest of the night.
Bring you coffee with a couple
roofies in it.
Yeah.
Here's your roofie colada.
A few crushed up Benadryls up in there.
Right. Oh.
It'll be all right. She'll serve me my drinks. I'll give her her coffee at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take you home. Don't worry.
Why doesn't this room have windows?
Oh, wow, you're kind of kinky. Handcuffs on the bed? Bars on the window? Bars on the doors? What? Yeah. Oh, where am I?
I couldn't go through life as an attractive girl. I couldn't. It just, the amount of creepers that I've seen hit on girls, and I know that is a fraction, man.
Not even an attractive girl, just a woman in general.
Yeah.
You know, like my wife, you know, she is obviously a lesbian.
Right.
She's got, you know, short hair. She's like the more masculine presenting type of female.
Sure.
And, you know, you still get men that approach her and are like, oh my God, you're so fucking gorgeous. Well, because she is.
Right.
But like, you know, it just baffles me in my mind that these like bro type dudes are approaching my wife who dresses the same, you know, has the same haircut, but better, obviously. But it's like, it's so fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
So I just kind of think, are all straight dudes a little bit gay? Just kind of like all straight girls are kind of gay?
You know what? If our best friend had a vagina, we'd be happy.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yep. Here's the thing.
Wait,
I don't
hold on. I'm kind of computing that.
The requirement is you just need a vagina.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Never mind. I was
What?
going to say something really, really, really bad.
Why? Go ahead. We love that. I love that anyway.
I don't think that every guy is a little bit gay.
No, I shouldn't have said that.
but
That's not what I
Here's the
ultimately
thing.
meant.
I think that every guy has a little bit of a feminine side.
Oh, absolutely. And that's fine.
Just like every girl has a little bit of a masculine side.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That is what allows me to have fun going and getting my toes painted and doing things that aren't traditionally dude-esque.
And that is totally fine. But like what I'm saying is, it's so funny that, you know, all these like bro type dudes hit on my wife.
I can answer why.
But why?
You can blame it on porn. 100%. Huh. Because since, I mean, I...
Like the lesbian thing.
I came of age in the 90s, and all the porn was like, here's two chicks doing their thing, and then a guy comes in and bam, they both turn their attention to him.
I get it.
Every single dude thinks that he's got what it takes to turn a lesbian.
But here's another thing. Like one of our really good friends is a gay man. And he tells us all these stories about, you know, all these straight dudes that he's been with and hit him up on the down low and like text him all day long. And he's, you know, been doing whatever on the side. And I'm like, the tea. I just didn't realize how many straight dudes were kind of like undercover like that. I see you.
Straight dudes.
Straight dudes.
Right.
Yeah. Closeted dudes, I guess.
I
Right.
also,
Which is fine to be bisexual. Come out!
I also think, personally, and I have, this is just me talking, I think that a lot of reason guys are like that is because it has become fashionable for straight girls to make out with each other at bars.
Ugh.
To get drinks or attention or whatever.
I call those spaghetti girls, and it pisses me off.
I have a very good friend of mine in Chicago who's been in a committed homosexual relationship for close to 20 years. And we were out at a show one night, and there were two girls clearly making out just to get the attention of guys and drinks. And obviously, all the guys around were cheering and things like that. And I just looked at him and I said, it's got to be infuriating for you that this can happen at a bar and it gets cheered and applauded. But if you, who have been in a committed relationship with the same guy, walk down the street holding hands, you're going to get looked at like you have leprosy.
Yeah.
And he just kind of shrugged his shoulders like, oh, it is what it is. But I think because it's become so okay for girls to do that, there are probably guys now who are thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I want to try.
I have watched girls make out at the bar, like with their boyfriends watching or whatever. And it's like, they're going at it so hard, like they forgot how to make out with people.
Yeah.
And they're like going at it so hard that they like clink their teeth together. And it's like, I'm surprised you came out with all your teeth just then. I don't even know how the fuck we just got on this subject.
Whatever.
But we are off the rails. I just want to talk a little bit about what you do
Sure.
in St. Louis, because you work at Keishi
I do.
in the morning. So you get up very early.
I do.
You're
Thank
an
God for the
early
holiday weekend.
riser. Well, you go back, what, Monday, right?
No, we're off Monday. I'll be back Tuesday.
Ooh. Damn.
I should have been off Wednesday, but the person who was going to fill in for us got COVID. So I drew the short straw and I let AD take the day off because his mom's in town. I'll do it.
What a nice guy. Yeah. So you're on the morning show with AD. Is it just you two?
It's the two of us, and then we have a producer, Jenna, who is finishing up college, and she's kind of our answers the phones, traffic and weather girl.
Oh, traffic and weather girl. Got it. Okay. So she's kind of what you were with Thom and Jeff way back when.
A little bit.
Intern-ish, not really.
No, she gets paid, which is awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
I did not. I dressed up in stupid costumes and ran around the city doing dumb shit for free in the hopes of someday getting a job.
That's like all I did too. And look, here I am still kind of doing it.
Yep.
I was going to say, it sounds like you started a podcast.
Pretty much.
But besides Casey, you also you manage a lot of bands too.
I do. I work for a company called Goot, which is headquartered down in New York City. We have offices in Nashville and London and LA and here. The office here is clearly my basement where my office is.
Wow.
But we manage a lot of big rock bands, pretty much anything that the Point plays. And if you've been to a Point Fest.
Can you talk about them at all?
Sure. We manage Shinedown, Hailstorm, Highly Suspect, Theory of a Dead Man. Those are the big ones.
So speaking of Hailstorm, when's Lizzie Hale coming in for an interview?
It'll probably be a while. They're still in Europe right now for the beginning of December. But the next time they're in town, I'll see if I can get Lizzie to come.
Joe's kind of like in love with Lizzie Hale, aren't you?
Aren't we all?
I have my story. And it's hard not to be in love with Lizzie Hale.
I mix
true.
I mix the two up. Lizzie and the other one.
The one from
Maria.
Oh, Maria Brink.
You manage her too, right?
We used to.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I always got those two mixed up because you manage both of them, and I always got them mixed up.
Lizzie's the one who can shred on guitar.
Maria is the thick girl.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, she is fine though.
And Lizzie's got this insane range as far as her vocals
She does.
go.
She's really the new Ann Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
wow.
Did you watch the actual recorded version of the Thom and Jeff thing? I added an interview with Lizzie Hale that we did on Rock at Rock on the Range.
I have seen the first 40 minutes of it, so I don't think I've gotten.
Okay, yeah, you haven't gotten that far though.
But I mean, Joe's right. Anyone who spent more than 5 minutes with Lizzie, like you're going to fall in love with her. I've worked with her for 10 years. I knew her a decade before that, and she is the most humble person. She is just as humble. When I met them in 2010 on a tour that featured the Veer Union, a band that I managed, and Cavo, as they are today, 20 years into it, Grammy Award winning and all of that. Like, they're just the best people on planet Earth.
Yeah. See, that's...
So what's your story?
Well, I mean, okay, so we did the interview, and after the interview, she was, we were shaking hands and everything, and she hugged Tom, she hugged Scotty, but she shook my hand and kissed me on the cheek.
Oh.
So, yeah. I was a special one that day, I guess.
Did you go home and go, I'm not washing my cheek for a month?
I thought about it.
You should have had her kiss a piece of paper and then tattooed it on her cheek.
No.
It's there forever, Lizzie.
Yeah, the whole band is incredibly nice.
Yeah. They all seem really down to earth. They've been doing this forever. They've got living on tour down to a science.
They really do. And what's funny is when they first started that tour that they were on with Cavo and Veer Union, they were like the Partridge Family of rock. Dad drove the bus.
Yep.
Mom was the tour manager. It was like a whole thing. Because her brother's the drummer. They really... I can't speak highly enough about them, or really, to be honest, everyone that I work with. Like the guys in Shinedown would give you the shirt off their back.
Oh, yeah.
I am very fortunate to work with some really, really good bands that
don't trash hotel rooms and stuff.
No, and these are bands that
nice.
that honest to God are big enough that they don't need to give people the time of day. Mm-hmm. And every show on this tour, like 10 minutes before doors, Brent went out front and ran the line and took pictures and signed autographs and shook hands with people.
My best friend Justin has a bunch of pictures with him, and it was from every show that he's ever been to.
Yeah,
with them, and wild. And then what was the festival that just got canceled where they did that whole little acoustic show in the lawn?
Yeah, they were at what is that one called?
I forget.
It's a shit show every year too.
I forget, but it was
Blue Ridge Mountain Fest or something like that.
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
every year there's a problem, and the day that they got, or the day that they were supposed to play, was canceled for weather. I believe
because the wind was crazy or some shit. But
so they, the guys in Papa Roach, and I'm going to forget the country guy who came out with them now, and he's huge now. All went out to where the campers are and got on the back of a flatbed truck and performed for like 40 minutes.
It's not
acoustic.
Try that in a small town guy, is it? I forget
No.
his name.
No.
Well, you said he's really big.
He's
and that
been
guy,
huge.
He's huge, but he's also fairly
Was it
new.
Zach Bryan?
No, hold on.
I don't know.
It's got a name that as soon as I see it, I'm going to remember.
Because I don't know
yeah.
country. I'm very, what's the word? Ignorant to the country scene. I'm not really into
Me too.
it.
We need to have more country artists.
Yeah.
on
I just haven't really been into it since I was little, and it was okay for me to listen to. Not okay for me, but tolerable for me and my brain to listen to. Because now it all just sounds kind of poppy and kind of all the same. Like when I was young at 90s country, it was good stuff for me.
Yeah, today it sounds like arena rock.
Yeah.
Southern fried rock.
Oliver Anthony was the guy.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, the redhead dude. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I couldn't name you a song of his.
Yeah.
I think he's like the country, what's his name? The tattooed all over the face. Always
Jelly
like,
Roll?
No, jean
Post
shorts.
Malone.
Post Malone.
Yeah.
He's like the country Post Malone.
Okay.
All right. I just know that it was a really big thing that the three of them went out and did that. And it's awesome. But again, that's the type of thing that, to be honest, pretty much any of the bands that I work with would do is they don't want the crowd to leave unsatisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I look, that
Because,
starts
why
top.
would you? That's how you're keeping,
Yeah.
That's how you're keeping the dollars in your bank account.
And I think that really honestly starts from the top. My boss, the owner of the company, Bill McGathy, is one of the most generous men in the world and one of the nicest guys. Now, when he needs to, beat someone between the eyes, oh boy, you don't want to get Bill pissed. He's 75 and he still makes
Holy shit.
he still makes my butt pucker a little bit when he gets angry.
75?
yeah,
Damn.
but
That's like 77-year-old Dolly Parton in that Dallas Cowboys cheerleader uniform last night.
Yeah, Bill cracked the whip, but Bill's also one of the best and nicest people in the world. And I think that trickles down to all the bands.
Now, how long have you been doing this, the band management part?
I left the Point in 2001, went to Chicago to work for Interscope, spent 2 years there, transferred to LA, worked another 2.5 for Interscope there, and came home in 2005 with Universal Records. Stayed with them until 2011, I think, when we found out the label was going to merge and they were just going to take all the assets and get rid of all of us, which, welcome to the music industry, happens all the time. So I left labels in 2011 and joined a management company, Q Prime, which has like at the time, Metallica, Black Keys, Chili Peppers, Cage the Elephant, heavy hitting bands.
Right.
Spent 2 years there and made the jump to Goot in 2013. So I've been doing the band management for about 12, coming up on 13 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
And what did you just say you did before? You were just working for record labels?
Yeah.
What'd you do there?
I basically, to be honest, the same thing I'm doing at the management company, just from a label side, which is the bulk of my job is get songs played on the radio.
Okay.
But the time at Universal gave me my favorite and probably greatest job title I'll ever have, which is I was the director of rock for Motown Records, which sounds awesome. It would be even more awesome if it was Motown Records in the 1960s. It wasn't.
Right.
But, we had our biggest band was Blue October.
Oh, wow.
But we had a couple of other bands that were, had moderate hits, but just to be able to look back and go, dude, I was the director of rock for Motown.
That's really fucking cool.
It is. Again, it's a good 60 years after. It would have been really cool, but it's still cool to have on a radio.
How do you just get into that kind of thing? Did you
I was really lucky.
I mean, did you was that something that you just aspired to do, was work for record labels, or did you just jump into it one day?
So what's funny is when I was in high school, I took a chapter in advanced speech comp on radio. And my teacher said, "Oh my God, you're so good. You should pursue a career in radio." And I went, "Fuck that. I don't want to do that." Fast forward 3 years, I'm in college, and my fraternity brother ran the college station and freaked out because one of his guys got sick. And he found me. He's like, you have a halfway decent voice. Go, get on the air. Okay. And I caught the bug. Transferred home. I told at the time Tracy Wild that if she gave me the request of the day, I would bring her a full sheet cake to Point Fest. She did, so I did. And she got me my summer internship at the Point in promotions, which was basically file shit away for 6 hours a day and do 3 events a week.
Oh, God.
And I was like, all right, I'll do all of that and more. At the end of that summer, I was like, I got to find something to keep me here, or I'm going back to college 2.5 hours away. And that's when I found out that Jeff, Trish, and Thom needed an intern. And I went up to them at a Pearl Jam show, like I said last week, and I said, I heard you guys need an intern. And all 3 of them said, do you want to do it? And I was like, fuck yes, I want to be on the air. And that was the start. So I stayed at the Point. I ended up getting moved up from intern to a part-time on-air guy. But we got sold in the middle of that from Sinclair to Emmis. Mm-hmm. And that's when Tommy the Boss took over. And I love Tommy. But I also noticed that Tommy, as jobs came open, instead of just hiring from within, was going out and finding the best person available in the country, as you should. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to move to Poughkeepsie to take my first real radio job and work my way back. At that time, Tracy Wild's husband was the local record guy for Interscope Records. And he needed an assistant that would work in Chicago. And I was like, please hire me. And because I loved what he did. I was like, wait, you don't have to get up ass early unless you're getting on a plane. You get to cover shows, be best friends with rock stars, and you have a T&E account? Mm. So you mean when you go out and get these awesome steaks, you don't have to pay for it? Where do I sign up for that? And so that's what I did. And I came home. My goal was to, be a rep. I was very lucky that a job in the Midwest opened up. And that, just to be honest, when you do what I do, your main goal is to get to one of the coasts. Either get back to LA where I was living or out to New York. And so I begged and begged to be the Midwest rep. Universal Records was hiring someone, and they wanted me out of Minneapolis because there's a branch there, because there's Best Buy's based out of there, and Target's there, and a lot of the places that buy music for stores are there. So there's a big distribution hub there.
Okay.
And I had said, if you let me move to St. Louis, I'll say F off to these other 4 labels that were recruiting me. And she did, and I moved home the next week. And I loved it. It was great. I knock on wood, largely because Tommy and I have become so close. Tommy was my boss at one time, and now I work him on records. I've never had to leave the Midwest. That's nice. There was one point where when I left Universal, the guy who was hiring me, he was like, well, we want you to move to Texas, and we want you to take, it was like a significant pay cut, like a $45,000 pay cut. Mm-mm. And I just told him, I said, hey, man, I own a house that I owe more than it's worth right now. So I can either move to Dallas for what I'm making now, and you can buy my house and sell it, or I could take that pay cut and stay in St. Louis. Well, I'm here right now, right. So you know how that turned out. And then, when Bill hired me, he said, you stay in St. Louis. Because rock records largely break from the Midwest out to the coasts. Alternative record, like a true alternative record from the coast in, because that's where all the cool kids are. But rock records usually break out of, the Oklahomas and Missouris, and Chicago is a big one, Minneapolis is a big one, and then they'll spread out to the coast, Dallas. So being that is what I know best, my counterpart works in Nashville, I'm in St. Louis. We have a guy in LA just so he can cover that half of the country. Mm-hmm. But a lot of what we do breaks out of the Midwest, so it's worked out really well. I
have always been so kind of intrigued on what you do, because I don't know. I mean, me doing what I'm doing, like, I don't know shit about the music industry. Like, there are so many moving parts to it that nobody knows about. Like, we hear the song on the radio. We hear the people talking on the radio. Like, people don't know... there's buttons to be pushing, and there's, there's cued songs that have to go here, and there's, commercials that have to go here at this time. And, but like, as a band manager, like, what, I I don't know how to ask this question. Like, what
is it that I do for the band?
Yes. Like, do you have to go on tours with them? Do you have to be
sometimes.
do you have to be on every show with them? Like,
no.
What do you do to promote their new album?
So
like, is that a big part of your job?
Oh, I have hands in all of that.
Right.
Most bands have a tour manager who will be on the road with them, who's basically their babysitter. They are in charge of advancing the shows.
So you are not a tour manager.
No.
You manage the tour manager.
I manage the band, and the band will hire a tour manager.
Gotcha. Okay.
The tour manager does everything from doing the day sheet that says, okay, today we are in this city. Here's what we have listed.
I've seen one of those.
Load in, 8 a.m.,
Yes.
lunch, noon, sound check, all this.
Right.
That's what a tour manager does. And that is, you are on the road with the band.
But you were like their babysitter, right? As a tour manager, you have to make sure they're all corralled at one time and
you're the point
on the bus at this time.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
It's herding kittens. A lot of what I do. So I personally am the manager for a band called Hounds. They're there's one of the smaller bands on our management roster. They're based out of St. Louis.
Speaking of, we'd like to have them on the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can make that happen easily.
Sweet.
They should, knock on wood, have some new music coming soon. But I have my hand in everything from dealing with the record labels to make sure that we're setting release schedules, both for singles and albums, getting tour support, which is the label kicking in money to keep the band on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I will work with the booking agents to make sure that we're chasing tour. Like, hey, these guys want to tour with this band. Can we see if there's a chance to get on that tour?
Ooh, that's another good question I have for you.
Yeah, or all that stuff. So I have my hand in everything. The bulk of what we do is we are the liaison between the band and the record label, because the record label owns the contract for the band. The band can't quit the label.
Okay.
But the band hires management.
Okay.
If they don't like what we're doing, they can fire us.
Okay.
So it is.
What do you mean by what you're doing?
If they don't like how we're managing them, if they think that we're doing something that's not working for them, they can tell us to piss off and go hire a new manager.
Okay.
So I always say it like this. If you're a band and you're signed to Joe Pro's record label,
yes,
but I manage you.
I am. I have a scat label.
If Joe tells you, Kara, I need you to be in Sheboygan, Wisconsin Wednesday, you have to be there.
Okay.
Now, odds are he and I have talked beforehand about this, because if I tell you, hey, man, I need you to be in Sheboygan on Wednesday, you can come back to me and go, I don't want to do that. Why am I going? Now, you have to trust that I have your best interest in heart on why you're going.
Okay.
But you can tell me no. You can't really tell him no. Or if you do tell him no, he's going to come to me and go, what the
You can't
fuck's
tell
up
me
with
no, Kara.
Joe's out there going,
Yeah.
you can't.
If you tell Joe no, he's going to come to me and go, hey, get your fucking artist in line.
That's
What's
his
wrong?
new name. Joe No, not Joe Pro anymore. Joe No. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense to me now.
Yeah.
Because that's always
It's
been
no
something that
different
I've
than
wondered
any other
about.
Manager. Like, a lot of actors and actresses have managers or artists or whatever. It's the same thing.
Okay, here's another one I had in the arsenal for you that I'm glad that you said something about. So a band is going on tour. Let's say Shinedown's going on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they get to pick
Yes.
who tours with them?
Yes.
Or is it just something that managers like get together and collaborate on?
Whoever is the headliner of the tour has final say.
Okay. So if like the headliner of the tour likes such and such band that they saw wherever at some little bar, they can just pick them to go on tour with
100%. And I'll give you a great example of it where at the time everyone thought he was nuts and it turned out to be the biggest thing in the world. 2 years ago, Brent Smith came to us and he says, hey, I'm taking this guy out on the road with us. His name's Jelly Roll.
Oh, wow.
And everyone went, who? What? Why? What? It turned out Brent Smith was right.
Wow.
Because we locked in that tour before Jelly Roll blew up. By the end of that tour, I would say that they were on equal ground. If not, to be honest, Jelly Roll a little hotter than Shinedown.
Wow.
Just because he was getting played on multiple formats, country, alternative, rock.
So would you say it's like Shinedown that got Jelly Roll big?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, Jelly Roll got Jelly Roll big.
Yeah.
But
Shinedown showcased them.
Yeah.
Right.
Being able to have him on the road was a huge get at the time for Jelly Roll, but it also benefited Shinedown because it was that much easier to sell out those dates because you had two bands and people were like, oh, dude, I'm going to this.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the headliner picks who they want. Now, there's obviously times where managers or labels will be like, dude, I need you to do a solid. Can you please take this band out? And a lot of times, as long as it's not a total train wreck of a pairing, it'll happen. But at the end of the day, if the headliner doesn't want it, it ain't going to happen.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm just speaking from my point of view as someone, and I'm sure maybe a lot of our listeners don't really know much about the industry either.
Sure.
But like for me, I don't know shit, but I've always been very curious about it.
Yeah.
So, okay. What about like on tours? So you have this massive, like US European tour. Yep. Do bands, I guess it's depending on the band, of course, but do they make significant profits from tours? I know you have to have like your crew and your whatever. I don't even know what goes on behind the scenes.
That's not an easy yes or no. Should they make money on a tour? 100%. It's one of the few things left where artists will make money. Mm-hmm. That being said, the more money you're spending on a tour cuts into your profits. You look at a band like Shinedown.
Now, what do you mean spending on a tour?
I'll just use Shinedown because they're the biggest band we have. They have a ton of pyro. A ton. That's not cheap. Mm-hmm. They have a huge crew.
And that's for every show.
Every show.
Right.
Unless for some reason they're playing
what would you say ballpark a pyro? Like not just theirs, but like just throw out a number. Like how much do you think pyro would cost for an entire tour?
For an entire tour? Mm-hmm. Oh, God. I mean, it's easy.
Like millions?
Easy 6 figures, maybe 7.
Holy shit.
Again, though, it depends on what you're using. Like Shinedown has fireworks and flames and all the bells and whistles. You look at a band like Guns N' Roses who tours, and they've got the same thing, but they've got it on damn near every song.
What
and
about,
then you have other bands that are, just here and there, put it in for spice.
What really about depends. Like, I know I'm going off track here, but I'm so curious about all this shit. So like, Metallica just came to town.
Oh yeah.
And they had the weird stages.
Yep.
Set up with the big like round.
Man, they did that back in the 90s. My first
Well, I had never seen that. I've never seen anything like that before. But like,
they
do
act
they
like
pay
it was something new?
Do they pay for that stage to get set up? Like, is that something that they designed and they paid for?
They
So then what happens with all of that shit when the tour's over?
Goes into storage.
And then what?
Or it gets destroyed or reused, repurposed.
It goes into storage or it gets sold to another band to use or whatever.
Yep. So do you think they just brought all that shit back from the 90s?
I mean, possibly.
I'm sure maybe some of it.
That's wild.
Here's the thing, though. Tours that big have 2 rigs. So while we're in St. Louis watching the show that's been set up.
2 rigs. Semi-trucks?
Well,
what do you mean rigs?
Full on like stages and everything.
Okay.
There's a whole nother crew who's in wherever the next city there is, setting that up.
Oh.
Because something that big doesn't get set up overnight. That is probably a multiple day
So it's kind of like leapfrogs. Yep. Okay. Yes. Oh, wow.
Like I know for a fact Metallica and Guns N' Roses both have 2 complete rigs, and they'll leapfrog. So
they have double?
Yes. Yep. But that's because that production is so entailed that you can't just take it up, play St. Louis, take it down, go to the next city, and put it up that morning.
And who pays for that, the band or the label?
Band.
That's insane.
The band pays for a lot.
Yeah. It's all worked into the deal. At the end of the day, it's coming out of the band's profits. They may get, hey, you're getting, and I'm just going to throw a number out there that's arbitrary, $2 million a show. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a lot of money. And it is a lot of money. But every expense comes out of that $2 million. All your crew, your per diems, catering, lighting, stagehands, all of it comes out of that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's so much.
Yeah. The touring life is bonkers. One of the things that we did this year on the Shinedown run is we sold a VIP package. And the VIP package was a tour of backstage, which doesn't sound that exciting at first, but once you get to go on a tour or a tour of backstage for a giant tour like this and you see how many people it takes to build this and put it together and make the show go off, you get a whole new respect for it. I have a friend of mine who was hired by Live Nation to do social media for the Kiss run. Mm-hmm. Part of her payment was they gave her and her family each the $4,000 super deluxe VIP tickets, which is you get a sound check with the band. And then
you talking about Kelly Mono?
I am. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you get to do the full on backstage tour, just go on stage. Like she got to put the blood that Gene spits out of his mouth. She got to sample the blood.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Not after it was in his mouth.
Right. I mean, she might have said yes anyway. But,
right.
But again, like those type of experiences are becoming more and more of a thing because people are starting to understand how detailed and how much goes into it, that it's like, for someone my age, pulling the curtain back on The Wizard of Oz and seeing that it's just, that there's a guy, it's cranking and things like that. Like you get to see behind the velvet rope and you get to see the nuts and bolts of what it takes to put off a 2-hour show that is fantastic. And you realize that it's more than just 4 guys on stage and 1 guy hitting buttons at a soundboard.
Right.
Like Shinedown has a guy who his job is the pyro guy.
Yeah.
It's his job to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, because one wrong step, and as we saw in the 90s with James Hetfield and Metallica, you get stuck in a plume of flame and you're done for 6 months. It's such a precision thing that there's a guy who this is your job. Your only job is you set up the pyro, you make sure it works correctly, and at the end of the night, you discard the stuff that can't be reused, and you load it up for the next show.
And they have safety teams and a lot of...
And they're all on their own buses?
No. The crew may be. The guys
what do you mean the crew? Like
the roadies.
The tour manager, their roadies, and things like that. But for Shinedown...
Okay, what is a roadie?
Just their
people
crew
who
that
set
travels with them.
Yeah.
Just like their friends or what?
No, their pyro guy, the tour manager.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Their stage hands, their sound guy.
Okay. But they have their own bus and they go...
Yes. Shinedown employs, I think, 60 people on their tour.
What?
Yeah.
And then all of their pay comes out of the band's pay.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's, that's what it takes to put on a show of that size.
That's insane.
When you're a little local band, you may go to your friends and go, hey, I'll buy you a beer at the end of the night if you'll lug my amps on and off the stage. Oh, okay, that sounds fun. And that that's a job. But there's a big difference between lugging amps on at Old Rock House and putting on a putting on a show at the Dome or Enterprise Center or Riverport or whatever.
Wow.
The phrase "it takes a village" really applies to rock shows. Yeah.
Wow.
So I got a quick question. I don't want to change the direction or anything.
Sure.
However, I'm really curious. Do you still get people? Do people still give you demo tapes?
All the time.
Really? People still actually hand you a CD, or do they hand you a flash drive? What do they hand you these days?
I will get CDs. A lot of times I'll get a business card that has a link to a SoundCloud or something like that. I'll get hey, can I text you something? Sure. The front of my phone is now a digital business card.
Oh my God.
You scan the QR, it gives you all my information. So just here, scan this, send me whatever. I'll listen to it because you never know.
Right.
You never know when the next big thing's going to come.
Right.
And where it's going to come from. If I was...
I guess by now you have obviously good music when you hear it, but how do you know when it's the one?
You don't.
Right.
I've had bands and songs that I would swear to God were going to be the next one and fell flat. And then I've had bands and songs that I was like, that's okay. Blew up. I can tell you this.
But that's like music these days, though.
It's
very it's hit and miss. Yeah.
I will tell you this. I learned in my Universal Records days because we had the contract for Cash Money. So we worked everything Cash Money put out. The first time I heard Lollipop from Lil Wayne,
oh my God,
I went, this is fucking garbage. First time I heard In the Club by 50 Cent, this is okay. I do not have hip hop ears.
Me
at
either.
all. Not even a little bit. Like, it's a good thing that I'm on the rock side.
That one over there, my wife does, but
yeah, I don't.
I don't. I'm on the rock side too.
Every time that we had to work a Cash Money song and I thought it was good, it tanked. Every time.
So with that said, how much of a band or a song's success is due to the actual band or song itself versus how hard the label pushes it?
I mean, there's a correlation. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh yeah, you can throw money at it and it'll succeed. There was a day when you could. There was absolutely a day where if you had deep enough pockets, you could manufacture success. Nowadays, you can't. I have had songs that have stuck around forever and not gone anywhere, and then all of a sudden, they explode. And I've had songs that race up the chart, and then 3 weeks later are dead. It's really subjective and weird. I'll go back to one of the first bands that I ever worked was a band called Hinder.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard some stories about these guys.
Buddy, I could do a whole show.
Right.
They're my five.
Well, we're here for a minute.
They're my 5 little brothers, and I love them all. But
What was the hairdo that they used to... Oh, man.
When I first started, Thom and Jeff Hinder followed me on Twitter, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah. One of Jeff Burton's favorite stories, he made me tell it to everyone I met, involved Hinder.
Really?
Yeah, and it was around this time of year. It was a Thanksgiving show in Springfield.
Did it have to do with fecal matter?
No, it didn't.
But do you know that story then?
Which one,
right.
sir?
Okay.
You can't start this and then not stop.
I'm going to let him take this.
There was a lot of poo. There was a lot of poo games.
What?
They're sick individuals.
But they're great, but they are the closest that I will ever get to the decadence of like the 80s sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like
no shit.
They lived it.
They were like the Motley Crue of
100%.
our day.
There were so many times when I would
Hinder of all bands.
Oh, girl.
That is so funny.
Girl.
That's like the one band I wouldn't... Coming from the lips of an angel.
You have...
Which I have to tell you, I do not respect that song whatsoever.
Oh, no. Same, but damn.
Look, I have a 3 million sold plaque on my wall from that song.
That's so crazy.
2 songs at rock radio, Get Stoned and Lips of an Angel, both peaked at number 2.
I forgot about
number
that
2,
song.
Not even number 1. They crossed Lips of an Angel to number 1. And by the way, number 2 songs at rock, 250,000 records sold.
I just don't.
It goes number 1 at top 40, 3 million records.
I just don't understand how a song that's about a guy who's
cheating?
talking. Yeah, he's talking to the woman that he's cheating with and talking about Lips of an Angel while his actual girlfriend's in the other room. Oh, yeah, it's just men. Sure.
Not even that deep. People don't pay attention. If I had a nickel for every person, guy and girl, who came up to that band during a meet and greet and was like, oh my God, your song is totally me and my boyfriend's song.
My God.
And I'm like, bitch, you know he's singing about cheating on her. They don't.
Oh my God. It's so funny because, I'm from Lincoln County, and if you would ever go to any bars out there, I'm telling you, like after 11 p.m.,
that's the song
Hinder,
in the jukebox, yeah.
Buck Cherry, Nickelback on the jukebox all night long.
Here's the thing that blows my mind. Buck Cherry and Hinder hit at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Buck Cherry is still touring off of that one fucking song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
I'm
sure they fucking are.
I have not heard anything new from them in a long time.
Because they don't need it. They'll go play a 1,000 cap club and go, oh, you're going to hear Crazy Bitch. Who knows? Maybe you'll hear it twice. I don't know. But no, the guys in Hinder were the first band that like I got to witness things just explode because it was overnight. They were doing well at rock. They were headlining clubs. They were on their own run. They had their own bus. But man, that song hit the pop chart and went to number 1, and it was night and day. I mean, we're talking about headlining arenas.
That's insane.
Yeah,
crazy.
Off of Lips of an Angel.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And look, like that was a lot of it is pure dumb luck. The right song at the right time. And you're off to the races.
That's so, I mean,
You clearly need
I'm
label
still
and
like
management to
baffled
support it.
by the fact that they were like the band.
You didn't
of
know
bands.
that?
No, the band of all bands that like was crazy 80s rock and roll, crazy behind the scenes shit. Like Ozzy
I can't
Osbourne
believe you didn't know
snorting
that.
up his ants and stuff. Like it's crazy. That's insane.
I'm trying to think of a good story that I can tell.
Please do. Because I
Make
mean,
it juicy.
yeah.
All right. I'll tell the Jeff story, but I'm going to leave the individual name out.
No, we don't need any names.
Yeah.
For sure.
So they played a show in Springfield, Missouri. I think it was the Black Friday after Thanksgiving, like 2007-ish. And they had gotten to a point where they had an ID reader to make sure that no one under 21 got on the bus.
Okay.
So there wasn't a lot to pick from that night. There was myself, a buddy of mine who drove down, who was a friend of mine in the band, 2 somewhat attractive girls, and 2 other girls.
Wait, pause. They had a bouncer for the bus.
Well, their tour manager.
Pretty much.
Their tour manager was scanning IDs, making sure they were over 21.
How many people go on the bus to this band
At the time,
at the time?
a lot.
Like how many? Like 10, 15, 20?
How many is a party?
Yeah. How many can you fit on the bus?
Right.
I don't know. Never been on a tour bus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could fit a lot of people in there.
Yep.
Yep.
So it was a relatively early night. And so the band's like, all right, we're going to head home. Ladies get off the bus. My friend my friend gets off the bus. I say goodbye to the band. Back up like 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes before that, I see a member of the band take one of the 2 somewhat attractive girls back out of the front lounge, but they're gone for like 3 minutes. So I'm thinking, oh, she must have had to use the bathroom. So we get off the bus. I say my goodbyes. And my buddy is standing out there with the 2 attractive girls who still wanted to party.
Okay.
And we're like, well, the bars are closed, but we thought ahead of time, and our hotel's a block down the street. We bought beer. She's like, let's go. So we go back to the hotel room. My buddy, being the good wingman, takes the friend of the hot girl, and I end up on my bed with said hot girl. And we're making out and things are fine, and I get her shirt off. And I'm going in like face first to the chest. And I get to like, if these are her tits, I'm like right here.
And she says, I'm a tranny.
Oh, no. She puts both hands on her face, like double face palms herself and goes, I can't believe I let him come on my tits. And I went,
oh my God.
What? And backed up. And I was like, you have got to go. And immediately grabbed my phone and texted my buddy. And I was like, hey, man, we got to work on our communications.
Oh, so she was sloppy seconds.
Oh, no, she was almost sloppy seconds. She was sloppy. Get the hell out.
Oh, no.
And you never know where she was before.
Right.
Oh, so you almost had a little salty snack to lick.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, my God.
And then I hit my friend, but I was like, really, dude? 3 minutes? That's all it took? 3 minutes?
3 pump chump. Cutie.
Oh my God.
Oh. Lips of an angel, I guess.
Apparently.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
That was the story that Jeff like couldn't hear it enough. It's like, tell the
That's a good
story
one.
again. Tell the story again.
The only thing that would have been better is if she would have turned out to be a tranny.
Oh, fuck.
Those tits
Hey,
were
man.
Those tits were pretty good. I might not have said no.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, these days,
I
never know.
they're hot. You never know.
I
know.
I won't lie. I have hit on a couple girls at bars.
Wait, does that mean to say, is that offensive? Is tranny an offensive thing to say?
I think it's how you take it, how it's delivered.
I'm sorry
how
if
it's
I've
said.
offended anyone. I didn't mean to.
No,
I mean,
I don't know if it's offensive or
I
not.
never
I'm
meant
ignorant
to-
to that
yeah.
subject. I should preface that with
Pardon my ignorance.
Pardon. Pardon. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
But no, I'm really happy that you came on because now you've answered a lot of my questions.
You're welcome.
About, the back rooms of it all. And
Oh yeah,
I never
got
know what
stories.
goes into making a show.
I'll
I
tell
just
you- I'll
I
tell you
buy the
some off
tickets
air.
and I go.
I'll tell you some off-air stories about the band that'll make your head.
Yeah,
explode.
please.
One that happened in the Pops parking lot.
With same band.
Yes.
God, I mean, in the Pops parking lot, anything could have fucking happened with anybody.
Wow.
A lot of shit's happened with me in the Pops parking lot.
All right.
Not really. I'm just making shit up.
Fair.
I've thrown up a lot of times.
Same.
The Phillies from the Philly wagon, but that's about
God.
it. That's about it. I mean, walk out and you're like, ugh, 7 a.m. sun's out. Don't these people go to church?
Oh,
you know? Jesus. God. Well, I'm really fucking happy you came on.
I am too. This is fun.
Thank you so much.
Anytime
Going
you want.
strong, second week. Oh, you know what? I do want to bring up, if you're wondering where Pookie is this week, I forgot to say in the beginning of the show, because we just kind of went right into it.
Right.
Pookie did have, I don't even know how to go into this. It's a little wild.
So Pookie had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. He had a quadruple bypass, and he wanted to be on the show tonight. He was going to actually link in
discharged
from
today,
home.
Though,
he got discharged today, and he wanted to be on the show so much he was gonna, but he was just too tired to come on today. But he is doing good. He is home. He is recovering, and we couldn't be happier.
Yeah, for sure.
What's
so
important.
hopefully he's back next week. We'll see. It's kind of.
It's whenever he wants to come back.
Whenever he's ready to come back, he will be here. But if you're wondering where Pookie's been, he has, probably would have much rather been here. But, poor dude. Yeah. All right. So hit us up on our socials. Our Facebook is Audio Inc., YouTube, Audio Inc. STL, Instagram, Audio Inc. STL. We're still looking for sponsors, as always. If you're looking to sponsor the best up-and-coming podcast in St. Louis, hit us up. It's audioincstl@gmail.com. We will get back to you with all of the information about the sponsorship info. Until next week, thank you so much, Chris, for coming by.
Thank you. Whenever you want. Just let me know.
Well... Maybe next week.
All right. I'll be here.
Let's make it 3.
Cool.
From Joe Pro, from Pookie, who is not here, and from myself, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week. This is Audio Inc.
Perfect.